later that very same bee.
I had another nightmare, and this was worse than the previous one.
The previous one I had before. Yeah, if you just said the previous one, that's fine. I had is even superfluous, but worse than the previous nightmare I had before. Yes, I know what previous means.
The past one.
Previously on Sweet Corn.
Previously on the exciting adventures of Dr. Eggsmund.
Dr. Eggsmund finds out he has cancer and has to have chemo.
Chemo Sabi.
But I don't understand, Dr. Mandela.
Beans aren't used in chemo.
And it's the backstory of Dr. Eggsmund's Supreme Bean Machine. Is that in fact Dr. Eggsmund was given strange baked bean themed chemo?
Yeah, right.
Baked bean themed chemo.
By Nelson Mandela.
And that is why he's bald.
The genesis of Dr. Eggsmund's Supreme Bean Machine.
Supreme Bean Machine.
Oh, Nelson Mandela does like baked beans, doesn't he? Right. I dreamt about that dark figure again who brutally tortured me and kept saying the same phrase all over again. She's mine. It's a different voice now, fuck it. I woke up at 2 a.m.
What's doing to you?
He's trying to eat my hand.
Oh.
breathing rapidly. I curled up, feeling the wall behind my back. I put my hands over my face and I breathed in deeply. It was a dream. Just a dream, I whispered. But I woke up and I was still in prison. Then I
For fuck's sake!
Then I looked over at the bunny next to me, which was looking back at me with his black eye, and with an irritated glance I threw it on the floor. Threw it on the ground.
I was going to say that.
Since the moment I started sleeping with that thing. That's a whole sentence.
That's the I was going to say.
My dreams turned into meaningless nightmares. Aren't dreams generally meaningless? It's sort of random assortment and cataloguing of the day's events. It doesn't really mean anything. I turned around to rest my legs, and in that moment I touched something with my foot. I elevated my gaze and I noticed a doll sitting on my bed. At first I was frozen in place. All I could do was stare at her. I didn't understand how she appeared there. My mind started thinking back to my parents. I'm sorry.
My mind started thinking back to my parents, who giving me a present.
Great sentence.
Perhaps I didn't have a real thing for dolls, and to tell you the truth, her presence in my dreams bothered me.
Bargle.
It was a peculiar doll, made of wax with unusual characteristics. She had a headdress of flowers flowing through her hair, and only a few locks caressed her cheeks. She wore an embroidered white lace dress with a black ribbon tied to her waist. Her arms were unordinary long. Unordinary long, yeah.
Her arms were unordinary long. Wow.
She had long tapering fingers that they were not even normal.
Wait, let's try that again.
Fuck it. No, that is the sentence.
She had long tapering fingers that they were not even normal.
What caught the most of my attention was a rose put at the centre of her mouth as if it was supposed to silence her. I kneeled down and tried to get an even closer look at her. Then I heard something, a sort of subdued sound, like a wheeze. It was coming from the same doll. Screaming, I let her falling on the floor and stood up in horror. Fucking hell! Trembling violently, pushing myself back to the wall, screaming for my parents. Suddenly, everything turned surreal.
Now's the weird bit.
The wall next to the door enlarged. There was a bubble between the paint and the cement. Slowly, some of the cracks appeared as if they increased in number. The paint fell into pieces, landing on the floor as it revealed a blue door. I hadn't the slightest idea of what was happening.
Neither
do we, yeah. These things exist only in books or in our imagination. But in my astonishment, I felt something that was going to come out of that door.
get on the floor, and
Something about
something else. We're not sure yet.
Yeah, I'm sure it relates to some sort of prehistoric creature, but I'm not sure.
Mastodon.
Mastodon, that's it. Everybody do the mastodon. That sounds good, actually. From the door...
Sounds a bit rude, actually.
Does a bit. From the door, I see the same black hands I witnessed on my nightmares. Aren't you happy about Daisy coming to visit you, are you?
Said Mandela to Mandela.
said the monster standing on the threshold of the door. I didn't like her either, you know. She screamed a lot. Daisy? What did she do? What did she...
I mean, folks around here think I'm crazy.
But my name is just Daisy. Oh no, yeah, I forgot the fucking song. And in italics, Daisy, what she had to do with it. Right. Daisy, what had she to do with it? Did. I looked around confused, looking for the presence of my friend that obviously was not there. At the end, my eyes watched over the doll. That blonde hair made of wax looked strangely familiar. I held my breath. A nightmare. It must have been another nightmare. I rushed over to the doll and turned her face in my trembling hands. I put my ear over her chest and heard another sound along with that horrible wheeze. The pounding of a heart. Hang on, I've got to try and do my best Mandela impression now. Daisy. 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 That sounds shit, but there you go. I cried desperately. It had to be a nightmare. Something like this could not be happening. It fucking is because we're reading it. I realised my parents were in the next room. According to the sounds I heard, they must have heard me screaming. But the monster blocked the entrance. He pulled the door shut, blocking it in the same setting, deforming the wood. My parents started punching on the other side. How do they know?
But why not just banging? It's like, no, they're punching it like,
because they're edgy.
Sure you can in the door.
Sure you can. And I didn't know what to do. It did not look like a dream. It was perfectly clear. It was more real than those nightmares of darkness and torture. My heart was beating so fast that I started to feel pain from it. I felt the sweat of my forehead and the doll trembling in my hands, which I couldn't keep still. The monster stood at the entrance, not moving from there. In the half-light, free confirmed, I could see his evil smirk as if he was waiting for my reaction. I unbuttoned Daisy's dress.
Sounds a bit rude.
It does a bit. Who looked imprisoned under the tons of wax, and I started to dig, trying to set her free. Hang on, is it a life-size doll or is it ones that you can hold in your hand? What is this?
Free, you tiny friend. Did I not mention my friend Daisy was 4 inches tall?
Go down a bit more. I dug. And I dug.
And dig.
And I dug. While her moans became more intense, ... until I felt something wet under my nails. Very rude. It looked like my hands covered with blood.
That's rude now.
Her skin must have been mixed with the wax, and the digging I did was not helping her at all. That thing that supposedly B Daisy was suffering. Her wheezes were blood curdling. That her expression was still that of an impassive doll. I trembled with horror. I had to repress a retch, and suddenly I felt my arm being grabbed. My splendid Maggie, you ruined your doll.
It's getting all northern now. It's going to turn to Jeff.
Exclaimed the monster, his whitlish eyes sparkled with a pale green light. You even threw Mr. Bunny on the floor.
That's not his name. It's Lord Bunnington.
The third.
Bitch.
But I forgive you. You must return to the palace. You must return to the place where you belong. By my side. Who the hell are you? That was supposed to be thingy, but that didn't work. I shook like mad, trying to set myself free while my parents were trying to break the door down. The expression of that creature filled with astonishment. I am Jason the Toy Maker. Roll credits.
Why is it you always go to your shitty Jurassic Park sounding?
What's wrong with Jurassic Park?
No, it's just you're shitty at doing it.
Oh. Your faithful friend, the only one you could trust. At hearing that name, something moved in my memories, like an electric shock run through my body. My father succeeded breaking down the door and turning on the light. When I finally saw him, his face primed a bomb that exploded. What? Cut the red wire! Cut the red wire!
Wait. So did his face turn into a bomb? Did he walk into one? What?
He burned like a bomb and exploded.
Ah.
No, that's what happened. Setting free my memories that were buried deep in the corners of my mind all those years. I remember the day we met for the first time. The toys that seemed to bloom from his hands. I remember his friendly smile. That gradually turned into a sharp, sadistic smack. He expected me to give him more attention. Hello, Jacob.
Alright, remember when I didn't need a poo?
Basically, what's just happened is blah blah blah.
Turns out that
her friend
Jason was Jason, and he stuffed her into
her friend who's Daisy is now being crazy and now is a doll.
We need to rescue her
from the castle because he's acting crazy, and also that Jason the toy maker is the monster from her nightmares.
Okay, so basically, folks around might think that he's crazy, but he's got to torture Daisy.
Basically, right? Yeah. That is what basically happened.
He expected me to give him more attention because of his arrogance. He believed he deserved everything from me. When he grew tired of me, he then showed me what he really was. He revealed and he eliminated all the people that I surrounded myself with. He kidnapped my friends and turned them all into his toy dolls, and was bluntly stupid to always my friends for turning. Oh, sorry, no. And I was blatantly stupid to always admire them. Rushing home was useless because the blue door reappeared at the centre of my living room. He massacred my parents. Okay. He took his revenge by taking them away from me and almost got me too. Got to me too. I managed.
Sounds like it got to you pretty successfully if he killed your fucking parents.
I managed escaping from his clutches, running as much as I could, running away from him. As far as I ran, the smell of blood and that of the decomposed flesh lingered in the air. Did you want to take over, Jacob?
It was you.
I was possessed by anger and I started hitting him.
You killed them. You.
I kept hitting him, but Jason was smiling, as if it was tickling him. He didn't have...
So punch him square in the dick.
He didn't have any remorse for ruining my life.
Why would he?
Like, whoopsie, it was a mistake me killing all your friends and family, following you here, killing your other friends.
Oh no, killing your parents. Shit, I thought that's how I've made friends. I'm so sorry.
Well, don't worry, Matt, because perhaps they'll let him write an article in the Huffington Post about how he's a killer, but not a monster. He was a possessive beast who concealed himself from my childish eyes behind an angel's face. He was able to give me everything and at the same time to terminate everything around me. He was fiendish.
Well, that's one word for him. I don't know, murderer is another one.
Right, what voice were you doing for Jason? What voice were you doing for Jeff the Killer with toys?
I literally was doing the Jeff the Killer voice.
Jeff the Top
Okay.
Hat. He's going to sound like...
Nelson Mandela.
I was going to say DMX.
It's just that if there's going to be a running character, if there are other stories about him, we need to know what the
Are we
voice
really
is.
going to, like... I don't really think he deserves a spot.
Okay.
Of course it was me, my splendid creature. Mr. Bunny even shouted to you.
He smiled with self-evident truth.
I made for you many toys, and I can't wait to introduce you, Miranda.
I'm not Miranda.
But you can call her Mandy, if you like.
Okay, so it's supposed to be introduce you to Miranda. Right. Suddenly something hit his head and it shattered into pieces. My father had a wooden club. He aimed a blow at the monster's head, but the one that broke was the wood. Jason's smile turned into an infuriated scowl and his grip increased on my wrist. He turned around when my father saw Jason's face. Saw Jason Statham.
Fucking Jason Statham.
I'm
going to hook myself up to these fucking electric things and like go mental because I'm cramped.
Right,
That's the name of the fucking movie.
Go mental. Here's
I'm fucking Jason Statham. I've got 24 hours to live all day of the week.
I saw Craig. Basically, the premise is this: Jason Statham is a right old geezer, and he's got
a fun-up knee slapping time on the town.
He's got to hurry up, finish up the knees up before Hackney Market is destroyed.
Music by Chaz and Dave.
He opened his eyes wide, and my mother covered her mouth to conceal her screams. Wait, didn't he kill your parents?
These are other parents. These are backup parents.
Okay. My father didn't waste time trying again to set me free. The club, broken in half with that one blow to the toymaker's face, allowed him to let go of me. Together with my parents, I ran out of the room. We quickly rushed to the entrance. My father opened the door, but instead of the garden path in front of us, there was Jason's workshop.
So he's Santa now.
Maggie, I give you one last chance,
Jason said calmly, walking down the stairs.
after which I'll dye the walls with the blood of all the people who surrounded you. You bastard.
To the kitchen, quick!
But who says that?
I don't know, so who cares?
Nelson Mandela's gonna say
There's another guy. She's like, Boppy the unicorn, quickly to the kitchen! Woo!
Thanks, Mr. Poopy Butthole. You've always been there for me.
Sleepy Gary, quick!
We run over to the... You guys know me, reverse giraffe. We run over to the kitchen, hearing that monster's laugh following us.
Oh, you just imagine this is going on and they're just adding more people. Hammer Eye! Cyborg Amish!
Once we were in, we could see through all the windows of the toy maker's little factory. Now I was desperately sure it wasn't a nightmare. The terror overwhelmed me, and Daisy's blood on my fingers were more real than anything else I have felt. Was more real. You're not northern. Daisy's blood on my fingers were more real than anything else I'd felt.
Why I have got the answer?
It was off-putting. Tell you that, I need a brew.
I'll tell you that.
I seen that Jason Statham in town. I turned around.
Where's Dad?
My mother grabbed a knife and got closer to me, holding me tightly in her arms.
Stephen!
With her trembling voice she called him, but we sighed with relief when we saw him coming in the kitchen.
Bit rude.
Yeah, carry on, Toby. Sounds a bit like bum.
Hurry up before.
My mother's voice blocked, just like me.
Oh, no, sorry, it was mother. Hurry up before.
My mother's voice blocked, just like me. She stared at Dad's pale face. He walked slowly with a fixed look at the space and his eyes wide open. Suddenly he fell on the floor, and behind him appeared Jason's frozen smile. The toy maker looked at me with crazed eyes.
Dad's battery decreased. It should be recharged.
Let's plug him in then. What's he take? Oh, double A. Alright, I'll stick him in as well.
Jason revealed a giant mechanical key and drove it into my father's back. Already stained with blood, he turned it with force and twisting. So what, was the key already stained with blood or your father's back?
Is it Kingdom
Who
Hearts?
cares? Twisting my father's backbone. At the second turn, I shouted, covering my ears to block out the sound of the breaking bones, but I couldn't help taking my eyes off my father's body, contorting itself like a snake.
Go away! Be gone! Leave my child alone!
My mother...
Yeah, it's like, okay, and leaves. Oh, you just need to ask him to leave? We should have that before he horrifically murdered my husband.
My mother held me tight at her chest, and despite the terror and the tears, she said, her face... Oh, excuse me, she shed. Her face resembled one of those lioness... Despite the terror and the tears she shed, her face resembled one of those lionesses shielding her cub.
That's...
Silence, woman. It's not you I want to talk to,
growled the furious toy maker.
So he's sexist as well. That's
And
his
in
worst
the
crime.
end, he pointed his white claw at me.
Come with me, my sweet friend. We will have fun together. We will be back at laughing.
We'll be back at laughing.
Like we did then.
Maybe laughing's a place.
Be back at English.
Oh my god, a whole big section of Nelson Mandela!
No,
No, that's not Nelson Mandela.
you're just an insane psychopath. I don't know what kind of monster you are, but I really don't have but I really don't have idea how you could exist at this world.
Oh my god, the English!
But one thing is for sure. You must
Put things is for sure.
one thing is for sure. You must disappear forever from my life.
You don't belong in this world.
At the sound of my refusal, Jason's face clouded over and his eyes sparkled with fury.
How does one sparkle with fury?
He started to rave. Please. Please.
Jason was in here raving.
James. To contort himself and jerking his head as if he went on the blink because of me.
I don't understand, he growled quietly. I don't understand,
He screamed, grinding his teeth. His face became more terrifying.
I was the only one staying by your side when your parents preferred to work than stay with you. I was a loyal friend while the ones... I killed your father and shit, but I was a loyal friend while the ones
I've murdered.
surrounding you only looked for you when they needed it.
He came closer.
I gave you all my attention, giving you loads of toys, and I never made you lack of nothing.
I'm done. Never made you lack of nothing. So a lack of something is an abundance, presumably. I never made you an abundance. I mean, just no, someone else. That's that.
Where are we? Go up a bit.
English.
Just fucking proofread your work.
I gave you all the attention, blah blah
Oh,
blah.
right, yeah, no.
Aimed good.
Oh, yeah, no, hang on, no.
Sorry.
I always aimed for your own good. What
Aimed
the
for your own
fuck is going on here? Jacob's just thrown his fucking hat off.
Yeah, he's phoned his.
He's thrown his shitty
He's
chimney
flipped the
street.
chair, tripped the table, thrown the hat,
No, he's just
jumped
thrown
the
his hat off.
shark.
And that's why I destroyed
Seduced the train.
everything. That's why I destroyed everything hurting you. His screams were so loud that it resounded over the walls. While my body shook in balls, and while my body shook in horror at every word, I got rid of all the people that's saddening you. Oh my god!
The saddening.
Sadness too, but saddening harder.
Because I wanted you to be happy by my side after I looked for you for so long. You even forgot me. I was a true friend, but you turned your back on me. Suddenly his furious face
I
relaxed.
was a true friend when I invaded your nightmares and murdered your entire family.
Yep. But not his previous
Well, that's
insane
not what
smile.
friends do.
After doing everything for you, there isn't another explanation. There is really something wrong with you. He instilled it on me with an accusationary look. You were really a bad little girl, so I have to fix you up. You gotta do the Nelson Mandela, you gotta say what?
What?
You heard me well, you ungrateful. I will fix you.
Sounds like Skeletor.
I will fix you up so good. And we gotta get that He-Man. Yeah! Did we just do that all at the same
I believe
time?
we did.
Oh my god. I will fix you up. You'll be so good. He sniggered. You'll become a very beautiful toy doll. My mother, who was paralyzed by Jason's tirade, suddenly awoke and pointed the knife over to him. If you even dare to graze Maggie, I swear I'll kill you. Jason looked over at my mother with a challenging gaze and slowly came closer, the knife trembling in my mother's hands while the toy maker gave an inexpressive guise. She couldn't stand the tension. She pushed me behind her and hurled herself on him. My mother stabbed him in the heart and the monster opened its eyes wide. It made a contortion of pain, corrugating his dark eyebrows, and my mother smiled triumphant. Just kidding. In that moment, a smirk reappeared on Jason's face. He opened his arms with nonchalance without even taking out the knife from his chest. My mother was shocked and stood still for a few seconds, but she was possessed by exploration, whatever the fuck that word is, and started stabbing him several times, trying desperately to make him react somehow. The disgusting sound of flesh pierced by the knife could be heard clearly, while the shirt was ripping, but Jason kept his balance perfectly. That's enough now! We must get at He-Man!
Conquer Castle Grayskull.
He commented, bored, and straight after he hit my mother on the face, making her fall violently to the floor. I'll be in trouble if you scratched it. It was already swollen. Sorry. I was quickly next to my mother, helping her get on her knees. The side of her face was already swollen. The fuck are you laughing at?
I was like, get on her knees and
What the fuck do you think I'm laughing at?
get on her knees and it was swollen. Sounds a bit rude, really.
Sounds a bit like bum.
Does a bit. My eyes leaped on the toy maker. I was waiting for his immediate revenge, but I was petrified when I glimpsed what he was doing. He unbuttoned his shirt, and drove his nails into his chest, close enough to the injuries he got from the knife. He sank his claws into his flesh and he slowly started pulling on the opposite side. The wound appeared as a little rip in the centre, which enlarged as flesh shredded like paper. A thick black liquid dripped to the floor. It was not blood. Even if it was, it must have been something rotten. Something sparked in his exposed rib cage. It must have been a nice lampshade.
It was filled with oil.
Probably you forgot how much I care for my splendid music box, but luckily everything is alright.
He took
This
his...
may be my one weakness. Let me bring it up to you.
Yeah.
It's also flashing red.
He took his hands off exposed chest and covered the hole with his shirt, hiding the music box that started to play from the inside. He then came closer. I wanted to scream, I wanted to beg, but the horror I had witnessed left me completely paralysed to do anything, which I employed squeezing up with my mother. It only took a yank from the toy maker to tear out one of my arms. He took her up without effort.
Wait. Tear
Tear her out of my arms. Oh, sorry, tear her off the arm.
It
Fucking
sounds
hell,
like
a bit
it's ripped
different,
off,
yeah.
Like both ripped out my arm and hers.
He took her out without effort and pushed her back into his chest for preventing her to wiggle out of him. He clenched his arm around her neck while the other arm was blocked the hand that stabbed him.
Now I'll show you what happens to whom tries to hinder me. Mom.
He slowly bent her arm in the opposite direction. She cried from pain, trying to set herself free, but that monster was strong enough to bend her limb and make the bone come out. My mother sank her nails into his blackened flesh, which flaked apart from producing a nauseating smell. Could not set herself free since the grip was wrapped tightly. Oh, Jacob, we need you.
Alright, I'll come with you.
I shouted with all the voice I had in my body. Jason raised his stare and gave me a serious look. My mother was becoming paler due to the pain and blood loss. She needed my help and there was nothing I could do but handling myself to the toy maker.
You can't take me with you, but leave my mother alone.
I said in my trembling voice.
After all, we are friends, right?
I tried to make a convincing smile despite I was trembling from head to toe and my eyes were filled with tears. Jason smirked. He was outright satisfied and pleased with his victory.
Excellent choice, Maggie.
Oh wait, she is Maggie fucking, I don't know. At that point,
I don't understand.
I don't know, I thought she was Marjorie, I don't fucking know.
I thought she was margarine.
Yeah, at this
She's
point,
a type of margarine.
at that point, his arms took back their usual colour, his lacerations cicatrized.
I'm not familiar with that word. I'm sure some smart.
CICA.
It's probably supposed to be a real word, but
It probably is a real word. There's probably some smart ass in the comments will tell us what it means.
In a few seconds,
How you pronounce it.
and he was back to his usual appearance. His face returned to its normal state, but I already knew what he concealed behind those amber-coloured eyes. Jesus Christ.
Cicatrice. There we go.
I've never heard that word before.
No, me neither.
Cicatrice. Cicatrice. Shut
You know
up!
what's really embarrassing is this story was Toby, can I have the mic?
Yeah.
Do you know what's really embarrassing is this story was probably written by someone who doesn't speak English as their first language. And
Why
yet
is that
they-
always your go-to
and
and
yet
they're not stupid?
And yet they know the word cicatrice and we don't.
It seems
When have
Jason.
we ever needed to like go, I cut myself the other day, but you know, it's a bit cicatrizing.
It seemed Jason accepted my surrender, but before leaving my mother, he took out of his pocket a little red mouse. It was unmistakably a toy, one of those with a winding key. He grabbed my mum from her jaw and pushed it into her mouth.
What's wrong, Mom? Did the mouse take your tongue?
He laughed amused, pushed her away from himself. In the nick of time, I saw my mother's eyes, wide-eyed and frightened. A light, and then an explosion. He fell. Oh my god, it's nearly over, thank god. She fell on her knees. Her jaw, her nose, her eyes beat to a bloody pulp. She fell on the ground, the stain of blood enlarged from her body. Blood pieces of flesh spurted up to me, but I was paralysed in front of my mother's corpse. While Jason wouldn't stop laughing.
Whoa, why? Why did you do that?
The toy maker's overwhelming shadow covered me and bent down to me. His face got closer, which was spoiled by a rift on his own flesh, wrought by the club.
Because I am not your friend anymore, you little shit.
Oh, he's getting edgy now! I am your creator. He then grasped me by my arm and dragged me towards him.
Now, let me fix you up.
Yeah, that's the whole story.
This is now I'm your creator. Like, someone's created and you didn't create them, but you can declare yourself that later.
I'd just like to say that "let me fix you up" is even less of like an intimidating catchphrase than "go to sleep" or any other shit.
Yeah, no, it's rubbish.
Or wibbly
Are
wobble
there
wobble.
comments?
I want a special thanks to
Face.
what the fuck? A face.
It's how.
It's a GIF.
Yeah, it's how.
Oh,
People
hang on.
on
It's
DeviantArt.
a DeviantArt
Yeah.
fucking thing. For helping me in my correction.
Correct. They didn't fucking help you very much, did they?
I also want to thank you all who supported me and enjoyed the story. 214 comments was
We
read
didn't
by
enjoy
quite a
it.
few.
We did not
Yeah.
enjoy the story. Fuck.
My favourite creepypasta forever and ever. I love this story from all my heart. Geo Great. I listened to Mr. Creepypasta's narration of this and I saw the link in your DeviantArt in the description. This story is amazing. I love it.
That's if anyone ever wondered what Toby sounds like with a sly finger up his bum. Now you know.
This is seriously an awesome story. It seems kind of like LJ, but with its own little twist. What the fuck is LJ?
Laughing Jack.
Oh, and it's so
Lars
extremely
Jackson.
and it's so extremely awesome that the resemblance silly if that's not how you wanted the story to be. Personally, I thought it was pretty sad and overall plot because it just wanted a friend, but also dark. I love the dark and funny from turn to the end. Jason, all I want is a friend. Ending. Nope.
Well,
you don't
you're
get to be my friend. Sorry. I just had to say that. What the fuck are people on DeviantArt?
Yeah.
What are they?
Well, look, considering this creepy demon wolf and got a picture of like anime cat girl, you're a pink like, oh, I feel sorry for me. You only wanted a friend. Well,
Clearly, that's something you can fucking sympathise
Yeah.
with, isn't it? Whoa, this story is amazing.
Whoa!
Really good creepypasta, says Blue Moon 1987. No one born in 1987 is immature enough to like this story.
Okay, so now I love Jason. I want to know answers. What is Jason's sexuality?
No.
Oh, no.
Nope.
No.
No.
No. What is wrong with
Toby, do you remember I
people?
told you weren't allowed to tell people to kill themselves?
No, what is wrong with these people wanting to
I'm just
sexual...
fucking revoking that right now.
Why do people want to sexualize
Retconning
fucking murderers? Why do people want to do that?
Because
They
they're
don't say it for
horrible.
people.
they have-
They don't say it for real life people like Fred Rest. What a sexy bastard!
They
No.
do. Yes, they fucking do.
What?
There are people out there who marry murderers on death row, Toby.
let's look at
Send
some of
them
this.
fan letters and stuff.
Let's look at some of these brilliant
No,
pictures.
go on Google. Go.
look
Oh,
at the pictures.
oh my
We've
God.
got some photos here, folks, of Jack the Toy Maker. And before
Jason, the toy maker.
Jason the Toy Maker, so it doesn't fucking matter, does it?
We've been all up in this place.
I mean, just so we're clear, obviously none of us can draw better than this. We're just making fun, all right?
What is that?
Why are there two of them?
Clearly some shit's about to go down. Oh look, they got the bunny as well. How cool is
Why are
not?
they putting a Jesus crown on her?
Jesusaurus Rex. Oh look, there's character development. Alright, I mean, I get the art style's kind of cool.
No, it's not.
Shame about the character, isn't it?
Weeaboo bullshit.
I mean,
Long-
yes, it is
Well, I mean,
anime,
once again, Beth,
but
like,
obviously
it's a
I
better,
can't
like,
draw better than that.
Better artists than us. And
You cannot
The best I can draw is my own original character. Actually, Matt's original character, the Toffee Crisp Vampire. It's the best drawing I can do.
What is this, man?
it's like you just redhead makeup clown.
I'll tell you what, I'll
big
go.
top man.
I'll tell you what, I'll go home. I'm already home, and I'll draw Randy Orton. How about that? Randy Orton versus Jason the Toy Maker. Pay me money and I'll make it. No, I'm only joking.
Okay, so what did you guys think of
Oh, it's just.
of Jeff the Freddy
It's
Krueger?
an hour and 20 minutes of my life that I'm never going to get back recording this shit.
Well, I think the only person who could stop Jason the Toy Maker is Nelson Mandela with his chemo cannon.
Yeah, cannon full of baked beans.
I don't know why people are so obsessed with the fucking let's make an animu character
This is the thing,
and
like,
sexualize them, but that's not in the story, which is fair enough. But I'll give it criticisms of what I see the more what I saw in the story. Why?
Look at the fucking mic.
I mean, no. I'm just saying, just why for a second? Why do they always seem to have the same sort of plot point? Oh, I can't exactly remember what happened. Suddenly, when I see his face, it all flashes back to me. Every single little fucking memory I had as a child, including who my parents were,
Wouldn't it be scary if he
doesn't
still
kind of
didn't
work
know?
like that.
Well, the thing is, for me, like, I think I accidentally ended up summing it up when I forgot that he was called Jason and called him Jack the Killer.
Yeah.
Because I think that just about sums up. It's like, yeah, this is exactly the same as all other,
Jack-based.
yeah, all these other stories. You know,
Laughing Jack, Eyeless
you know,
Jack,
they-
Stabby Jack,
they are just,
Jack Slash,
they are
all
just
that.
the same story. And I feel like I could sit here and criticize it, but what would be the point? Because I've already
Jack.
I've already fucking done this dance at this point. You know,
Lightning Jack.
I've already run down all the stories that are this one. This is just Jeff the Killer, Freddy Krueger.
Jack Boots, Jackknife.
With he's turns people into toys with the big clockwork key. That's entirely original. I've never seen that in a million things before.
Kingdom Hearts.
Awful.
Jack
Absolutely awful.
Jack Rabbit.
So,
Jack Boot.
that was Bad Creepypasta. Next time you'll hear Matt not listing off a whole load of things which are called Jack.
That's my fucking opinion.
Alright, well, what's your opinion?
Well, first of all, I think it's,
no, we're done.
a big pile of shit. But the other thing that you're saying about the whole, like, sexualizing that, I don't get it. Because, like, first of all, like, if you clearly don't have anything in your life. So you're just latching onto something. But you're latching onto this. Like, you aren't, like... Oh, what? Oh, Sephiroth. Why aren't you you're not latching onto, I don't know, like you're being sort of hipster and you're latching onto something random. You're not latching onto anything mainstream. Oh, yeah, there isn't some animu out there. Like, oh, I really like the bad guy and that. He's a remorseless killer, but he's got such pretty hair. No, you're going to have, like, oh, this shitty story that someone wrote that's on DeviantArt that, like, eight people know about. I'm going to latch onto that. Oh, what's his sexuality? Fuck off.
That comment, like, what is his sexuality, just to me, like, it just summed up,
You like shoving knives up his ass. That's his
Toby's
sexuality.
fucking question of what is wrong with people on DeviantArt.
There were other questions on that comment, by the way, and I didn't want to read them. I was too scared. Also, why don't we just replace Jason the Toymaker with Sephiroth? If you, let's just put it this way: if you went up, if Sephiroth was real, he's not, and a fan going up to him and just like, "Oh, Sephiroth, I love your work," he'll just kill you and be like, "Yeah, that's my work." He's dead.
The trope of it is called Draco and leather pants, because it's like when you like a bad guy. Yeah. Because he's pretty, basically.
Yeah, basically. Anyway, that's been Bad Creepypasta.
Yeah, fuck it.
I hope you've enjoyed. And
and we're gonna go watch Deadpool because he's awesome and ugly as sin.
We're gonna watch Deadpool because fuck this bullshit.
If you like Deadpool and you would like to subscribe,
this hasn't been on music for almost 2 years.
Who gives a fuck?
Like, how do you do the whatever?
If you like Bad Creepypasta, you should subscribe.
If you can't be responsible with the mic, you're not having it.
I'm done now. Anyway, Jesus
fucking. Right, Toby, you can finally take the butt plug out.
We'll see you next time eating the pudding. Donate to our Patreon, please, because I need another solid gold jet for my house.